According to Google, utility is defined as being something useful, especially through being able to perform several functions such as a utility truck. In Rimworld, utility mods are so helpful and useful in order to get things done quicker and faster. There are so many utility mods out there, but I think I found one that trumps all of them. The Tools Are Plenty mod. This is a lovely little mod that has very recently been uploaded, and I looked at it and saw it had kind of 4-star reviews, and I thought, oh, let's give it a go, see how good or bad it actually is.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
And I don't think I can ever not use this mod now. Let's get into things and let's start with the content. So as we all know, first impressions count. So starting off looking at the content, let's look at the Steam Workshop page. And there's a lovely little photo greeting us, telling us exactly what's in this mod. And scrolling down the page, everything is there. Every single item is listed, described what it does. Everything is separated into tier lists of the research level. Everything you could want and more in terms of information about this mod is here on this Steam Workshop page. Balancing, recommendations, FAQ, everything is here. This is probably one of the most perfect examples of a Steam Workshop page I've ever seen.
It was perfect. Perfect.
So what do all those items look like in-game? Well, here they are. There are 33 items added by this game. Every single one of them is usable by the colonists, and everything is unique in its own little way. Now, at the time of recording, there are 33 items. I say this because halfway through making this, a mod creator added another 5 items into this mod pack, which I thought was a very nice thing for him to do. All of the items here do individual jobs and everything. I like that this is, you know, all separated out in different tech levels. This is a very nice amount of content as long as it's pulled off right. So what do these 33 items do, and why are they getting me so brick to talk about? Well, every single item added by this game increases your colonist's work speed, whether that's in crafting, cleaning, sharing, mining, whether it's literally doing anything, it will increase your work speed. Now this is split up into different tech levels for different balancing purposes, which we'll talk about later, which means that there is a separate item for every tech level that you've got, which not only means that there's a nice variation, you can have people using certain things, it allows you to actually be able to play this no matter what playthrough you're doing and add it in wherever you want. In terms of content, we're looking at something that's fitting in with every playthrough, providing enough content for you to be able to be content with as a utility mod. This is looking really promising. And despite how promising this is, that is all the content there is to show at the moment. Later on the line, as I get into balancing and the quality of this mod, I'll be able to show off things in a different regard. Overall, in terms of content, I'm going to very comfortably give this a 8 out of 10. I'm only marking it down ever so slightly because in the later stages of Rimworld, there are only 3 items provided by this mod creator compared to the other sections that have 8 or 9. So next, let's look at the quality of all the items added by the mod. I will be using the Camera Plus mod here in order to zoom in on everything. The Camera Plus mod I will never ever review, but always gets a 10 out of 10 in my books. So comparing everything to the base game auto pistol and the stuff modded, everything that's been added by this mod is of a better quality in terms of texture and definition than the auto pistol, which is always a fantastic thing to see. However, it's very important to note that it's not so much better that it's not comparable in any way, which is also very important. Everything is identifiable as soon as you look at it. I can see an axe, I can see a broom, I can see a chainsaw, I can see a pickaxe. It all makes sense and it's of a quality that's high enough that I can determine what it is by a very quick glance. There are a couple of inconsistencies that maybe could be improved upon, but nothing to worry about in my opinion. Next, let's look at the little bits of a detail that have been given attention to within this mod. I love seeing the little things, especially when they're roughly 3 inches in size. They do the job, and that's what I like. Now, every single item added by this mod has got a description. Something that is not usually looked upon, but I like that. I like that it's all got a description. It tells you what it does. Yes, it tells you that it's just a chainsaw and this is what it does, but it's there. It looks like it's part of the base game, and I like to know that it fits in that way. So last but not least, looking at the quality of the items in the mod, let's have a look and see if there are any custom animations and any custom sounds. Now we have several items in this mod that look like they should have custom sounds or potentially a custom animation. The pickaxe in particular, the axes, especially the chainsaw, I expect there to be some sort of extra sound added in that makes sense. However, as you can see, there are no custom animations, and there is no extra sounds. I love sound quality and I love sound design, and I am kind of let down here that there isn't any extra sounds added by this mod, especially for the chainsaw, which is something I'd like to see. This ultimately isn't a massive thing, and this is just a utility mod, but I would definitely like this added in the future. So there we are. That is about it in terms of the quality that I can show you. Everything is of a quality that I expect from a utility mod, and it's very important to note that this is what I expect of a utility mod. If this was a mod that added loads of content and stuff, I would maybe have liked a little bit more, honestly. I'm not going to mark it down for that because it is a utility mod, but I will bear that in mind in my scoring. So overall, I'm going to be giving it an 8 out of 10. I would love to see some custom sounds for like the chainsaw and everything. It would really bring this mod together and really be a perfect utility mod, in my opinion, with that added. Next, let's look at balancing. So next, let's look at the balancing within this mod. Now, it's very important to note that this is the section of this review that will make or break this entire mod. If this mod is overpowered or unbalanced, it will completely ruin the rest of the scoring, in my opinion. It's very important to note as well at the beginning here, the mod creator himself kind of admits that this is an unbalanced mod. They say that this is designed for very large mod packs and everything just to speed things up late game. I will bear that in mind, but I don't actually agree with him. Let's start with things and let's look at the speed. So the speed that we're going to be looking at of the things that be done within this mod is going to be down to the tool sets. The primitive, the basic, the industrial, and the multi-tool. All of these are a part of a tool set that do the exact same job. Crafting. Crafting, in my opinion, is going to be the most overpowered one that you're going to have access to within this mod, because you can then create extremely good stuff quickly. Every single item that's added by this mod has a percentage increase. The primitive being a plus 10%, the basic being a plus 10% on top of that to take it to 20%. The industrial then takes it up by 15% to 35%, and the multi-tool then takes it up by another 25% to 60%. Now, these are quite small percentage gains compared to some of the other things that can be added by various other mods, and seeing as they are technology locked, I think that actually makes it quite balanced. Not something I was expecting. I was expecting to see plus 100%, plus 200, plus 300, but they all kind of make sense. All of these percentage increases I'd expect from the base game, if I'm honest. Let's have a look and see how they look in game. So here we have a colonist that I have grabbed here. I've set them up to make 5 steel clubs. All of them either using no tool or a tool of a different technology level. It's important to note here that this colonist I've set up here has got 10 in crafting, has got absolutely no health defects or anything that I'm aware of, just for the sake of balancing and speedness. It's very obvious to see from what you're seeing now that the fastest one is the multi-tool, the slowest is the one with no tools, but very interesting, the difference between no tool to having a primitive to having a basic isn't actually that much of a difference. The main differences come from the industrial and the multi-tool, which are very much the quickest. I like that they are research locked though, so it means that you're not going to be able to access this stuff till very late in the game, and once you've got to the stage that you're making stuff, you were using the industrial tools and the multi-tool, you're not going to be making basic clubs. For early game, I think it makes sense. I don't actually think this is unbalanced whatsoever. This feels very balanced, especially if you bear in mind the technology lock that comes with it. So that is all I'm going to be covering in terms of balancing for this mod. Now, I could obviously go through and show you every single item, go through every single percentage increase, and tell you what I think and whether or not that's balanced depending on the situation, but it's just so much and it's all very much the same. The only difference being for the crafting one is that it covers each 4 technology levels, and I think that it does it very well. I think the use of having a technology locked really means that you can use this for whatever playthrough you're doing, and depending on the amount of time you've spent, will help you in whatever regard. Do I think this is balanced? I think this is a lot more balanced than what the mod creator puts out on his Steam Workshop. I genuinely thought that this was going to be totally unbalanced and the percentage gains are going to be silly, and it was just not going to fit in with Rimworld at all, but it does. As a utility mod, it fits in perfectly with Rimworld, and it's something that the game is really missing. If you told me that this stuff was base game and I didn't know it was modded, I would genuinely believe you. I think in terms of balancing, I'm actually very confident in giving it a 10 out of 10. It's so much more balanced than what it makes out to be, and I don't know if this is just because I was expecting this to be really unbalanced and it's become actually quite balanced and that's why I'm giving it a 10. I don't know, but in my opinion, this is very, very good. So next, let's look at the compatibility for this mod. Are there any bugs and how this fit in with your playthroughs? Now, in terms of bugs, every single bug that I was looking at was then replied to by the mod author, who then fixed them. I couldn't replicate any bugs that were in the Steam Workshop page that I usually would, because the mod author just fixed them. It's not often that I can go on there and be confident that they've been fixed, because the mod author's done it himself, which is really nice of him, honestly. It's lovely to see a mod author that's actually active in the discussion pages and looking for active feedback all the time. Now, in terms of what playthroughs you're going to be running this with, you can run this with a tribal one, a medieval one, an industrial, futuristic. Like I said, with the fact that there is technology locks for each different level of tool, you can put this in any playthrough you want. For a utility mod, that's perfect. It's just what you want. You want it to fit in with every single playthrough you do with pretty much no problems at all, and that's great. I have no other issues with compatibility. As far as I'm concerned, it's perfect. 10 out of 10. So last but not least, let's look at my mod recommendations for you guys. It was quite difficult to actually pick some of these out because this is a utility mod. It kind of fits with everything, but here's a few that I have picked out. Starting with a simple sidearms mod. This mod is actually recommended by the mod creator himself. Please use this. I think it's actually pretty imperative. Next, more linkables, and then even more linkables. Try get the percentage gain as high as humanly possible, and a nice little touch to your workrooms. And then to go with that, the Master of Crafting mod. Bulk make a load of components, times 50, times 100, whatever floats your boat. And last but not least, the medieval overlord mod, because obviously there is tech locking and everything. You can tech your lock yourself to only use medieval looking tools, which is a very nice touch. Because this is a utility mod, there are so many mods that I could recommend, so many scenarios and everything. It just works in every situation. Potentially won't work with certain mechanoid mods where the mechanoids are doing the work, but that is the only situation I can see things not working with this mod. So I think overall, just because there isn't a perfect situation in every single time, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 for mod recommendations, just because with biotech and everything, mechanoids are pretty big. But yeah, it's really, really good. So here we are at the end of this mod review. Now, I can very comfortably say that this mod you need in your playthroughs. This is one of the few mods I've been comfortable saying that you need to use this. I will always use this from now on because it fits in with so many styles and so many things that you could do in Rimworld. It's perfect, almost. For content, it received a 8 out of 10. Quality, it received 8 out of 10 as well. Balance and compatibility, both 10 out of 10. And mod recommendations, it received 9 out of 10. Giving it the highest score so far for my mod review stuff, 45 out of 50. Giving it a very solid A rating. This mod is so good as a utility mod, I can't believe it hasn't been done sooner to this degree of quality. This mod is going to be something that I personally think will be going around for the next few updates for Rimworld and will become more and more popular, especially if the mod creator is as interactive with the community as he is now. This mod has got so much potential, it just needs a little bit extra. I want to see the little salt sprinkled on by Salt Bay to just give it that finishing touch. So that's it. Thank you very much, you guys, for watching today's mod review. Consider liking, subscribing. Make sure you tell your mum about me, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.